Hello everyone, this is Mallory the Poetry Geek speaking. If you have stumbled upon this video while doing some random search on YouTube, please feel free to continue watching for the knowledge you are about to gain. If you are in my creative writing poetry class and are watching this in the classroom, I'm sorry that you have to listen to my voice for the next few minutes against your will. Now, I've often been stopped in the street and asked what poetry slam really is. And my usual answer is, slam is poetry that doesn't suck. But now I'd like to give those of you who might be a little curious about slam a small overview, and then a quick example, if you'd bear with me. Slam was invented in the mid-1980s by a construction worker named Mark Smith. Smith was tired of poetry readings where basically anyone could present a poem, but no one in the audience was allowed to make their opinions of that poem known. Mark Smith decided that it was time to make poetry stop sucking, so he added the slam element to poetry. This changed a poetry reading into a competition, which encourages poets to write better poetry, since their poems would be judged by 5 random people in the audience. Slam uses Olympic-style scoring, which means that of the 5 scores, we drop the highest score and the lowest score, keeping the 3 median scores. The only difference between a poetry slam and the Olympics is that we really don't care if you smoke pot while you're competing. There are a few rules to slam poetry. First of all, you have 3 minutes to present your poem to the audience. Usually, when your poem goes past 3 minutes, the scorekeeper will warn you of your 10-second grace period. So when you go beyond 3 minutes and 10 seconds, half of a point will be deducted from your score for every other 10 seconds you go past that. There are also 3 other basic rules you have to follow while slamming. 1. There is no musical accompaniment allowed, save for whatever types of noises you can make with your own body. 2. There are no costumes or props allowed, but pantomime is highly encouraged. 3. There is no nudity allowed, nor are you allowed to strip during a poem. If you break any of these rules, you will be automatically disqualified from the competition. A poet can bring forth any poem that they are comfortable with slamming, but the main factor in winning a poetry slam is quality. The audience is looking for a poem that entertains, which could mean anything from funny to thoughtful poetry. It's all about your presentation, and the more you are able to bring your audience into the poem, the higher your chances of winning become. One last tidbit is what to do in the event of a tie between 2 or more poets. When this happens, the entire audience is allowed to participate in what is known as a haiku death match. Say it with me, everyone. Haiku death match. The tied poets will come on stage and each poet will present a haiku. Then the host of the slam will ask the audience to clap for whichever poet they like the best. That person is then declared the winner of the death match and will be the winner of whatever position was tied. For those of you who may not know, haiku is a form of Japanese poetry which typically will consist of 17 syllables. Traditional haikus will be about nature or something else they consider to be beautiful. But here in America, haiku pretty much consists of any group of 17 syllables. Here's an example of one of my American-style haikus. Now, if you'll forgive my utter lack of maturity or shame, I'll also be presenting a poem, just to show an example of the type of poem I would bring to a poetry slam. Do you have stubborn belly fat, which tends to accumulate on your stomach, hips, and thighs? Stubborn fat is caused by poor diet, lack of exercise, having kids, taking time out of your busy schedule to help your children with homework, being a good parent, stress at work, and all the chemicals from all the other weight loss supplements that we know you stuff into the cream filling of Twinkies, forcing your fat gullet while guzzling cup after cup of coffee to keep that caffeine high just long enough so that you won't stalk through every cubicle in your office building with a carbine gas-powered semi-automatic rifle, pumping round after round into your so-called friends and co-workers. Remember, ladies, fat is unattractive, because no man will love you unless he can feel each and every one of your ribs like your body is simply a xylophone for him to play with. And don't you dare forget that for the next 10 minutes we'll be having a special deal. Just be one of the first 2,000 callers to receive your first 2-week supply of hydroxyzine, already pre-laced with a near-lethal dosage of street-level cocaine to jumpstart that extra weight loss necessary to fit into that bikini before summer comes around. And if you call now, we'll include a special horse tranquilizer dart that will numb your body so quickly you won't even feel any pain as your pancreas goes into shock. Now, call now to receive the special deal, which includes a special tote bag to make you feel sexy and special when you walk down the street in those size 00 jeans. You get the pills, the tranquilizer, and the tote bag for not $9.99, not $19.99, but for only $29.99 plus shipping and handling. But hydroxyzine is worth the price because hydroxyzine works. So call the number on your screen to get your 2-week supply of hydroxyzine for only $29.99 plus shipping and handling. Subjects taking hydroxyzine reported these side effects: nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea, gonorrhea, weight loss, weight gain, depression, bipolar disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, breast reduction, mammary enlargement, diabetes, hypoglycemia, pubic lice, anal leakage, anal seepage, anal warts, irritable bowel syndrome, acid reflux disease, ulcers, randomly bursting appendixes, non-malignant tumors, malignant tumors, lower IQ scores, lower sperm count, higher chances of post-birth miscarriage, flipper babies, mermaid babies, babies with extra or missing limbs, children born with their hearts on the outside of their bodies, and erectile dysfunction whether or not you have a penis. You should not take hydroxyzine if you are nursing, pregnant, may become pregnant, want to become pregnant ever, or if you want to live to see your grandchildren. Alright, thank you everyone who managed to live through this video. Now, go out there and make some poetry.